No, my eyes do not deceive me. I was indeed correct. Gennady Golovkin is heavier than normal going into this Canelo fight. My eyes told me when I saw him at the open workout that he looked heavier than normal. And I've come across solid proof now which backs up what my eyes initially told me. I'm going to get onto what that proof is in a second. But I have to say, sometimes you'll see training footage of a fighter and they've got their shirt on during the training footage, their t-shirt. And it can be a little deceiving. You can think maybe he looks slimmer than normal. But then when they take their shirt off at the weigh-in, it's like, wow, okay, he's not that slim after all. That can happen. But here with Golovkin, he had his shirt off in the open workout, so there was none of that business going on. I could look at his torso and I could see straight away that he's heavier than normal. Now, how do I know that he's heavier than normal for a fact now? Not just my eyes telling me. Because at the 30-day check weight for this fight, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, Gennady Golovkin weighed 170 pounds at a 30-day check weight. That was just what, 2 weeks ago? Now 170 pounds, a lot of fighters who fight at middleweight weigh 170 pounds. It's not a big deal, is it? It's only 10 pounds over the middleweight limit. Well, yeah, I get that. It's not really a big deal for most middleweights. But the reason why it's unusual for Golovkin is that he's normally around 165 pounds 30 days out, and he's digital with it. It's like clockwork with Golovkin. 30 days out before fight, his routine is that he weighs 165. And it's been like this for several years now. He's been digital 165. And if you think 5 pounds is not a lot of weight for a fighter, then you've obviously never, you haven't been around professional boxing long enough. 5 pounds is a lot for a fighter who's making weight, especially 30 days out from a fight. If they're 5 pounds heavier than normal, especially, these lower weights, like middleweight, etc., it's more of a big deal than you would think. So anyway, let me give you some of his fights over the past few years and give you the check weights, all right? There's only one fight that I've been able to find where he weighed 170 pounds or higher 30 days out, and that was the Martin Murray fight. In all the other fights, 30 days out, he weighed 165 or less. So against Marco Antonio Rubio back in 2014, he weighed 164 30 days out from the fight. I can't find his weight for Monroe Jr. 30 days out, but against David Lemieux, he was 165 30 days out. Against Dominic Wade, he was 165 30 days out. Against Kell Brook, he was 165 30 days out. Against Daniel Jacobs, he was 165 30 days out. So he is normally 165 pounds 30 days out like clockwork. The fact that he isn't in this fight raises an eyebrow for me. 5 pounds heavier than he would normally be at this stage, and I could tell with my eyes looking before I even confirmed it by finding out about the check weight. Now, with all that being said, one of the people who I was having a conversation with about Golovkin's weight pointed out a very simple and the most plausible explanation, which I really should have thought of myself, as to why Golovkin has come in so heavy, or so much heavier than normal. It's very simple. He came into camp heavier than normal. As simple as that. So he had more weight to lose than normal. Apparently Abel Sanchez said he took a longer rest than he would normally take after a fight. He's been a very active champion, Gennady Golovkin. But after the Jacobs fight, he took a longer rest than normal and put on a few pounds. So he came into camp heavier than he would normally come into camp. And that's why he's a little bit behind in terms of his weight loss schedule. So that seems to be a very reasonable explanation. And there are pictures of Golovkin from a couple months ago when he first started doing the promo stuff for the Canelo fight, and you can see that he looks chubby. Will the fact that he's come into camp heavier than normal affect him in the fight? Has this been a fat camp for him and not a camp dealing with the technical side of the game and strategy, so on and so forth? Will his lack of discipline this particular time catch up to him? Or isn't it bad enough to affect him that much in this fight? I guess we'll find out soon enough. If he came into camp, I mean, if he was 10 pounds heavier than his normal check weight, then obviously it would be a bigger deal. You know, if he was 175 30 days out rather than 170, that would be even more cause for concern. Although you do get middleweights coming in at 175. Again, forget about what other middleweights do. You have to look at what Golovkin normally does. And if it's like the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When a guy is doing something that he don't normally do, he's normally in a routine and he breaks the routine, that's when you have to start at least entertaining the possibility that something could go wrong for him, because he's suddenly out of his routine, he's out of what has been working for him normally. That's where, I don't want to say accidents, but that's where mishaps can happen. So anyway, as I say, all the check weights are in the description below, so go check them out. Again, against Kell Brook, Dominic Wade, David Lemieux, Marco Antonio Rubio, and Danny Jacobs in his last fight. He was 165 pounds or less 30 days out. This time around, he's 170. So, yeah, make it out what you will, people. It's happening. I'm out.